I mean, I'll let you introduce this.
Beale Street.
Yeah, Beale Street. Introduce it properly.
I mean, I'm going to introduce it properly. I'm just making sure.
I thought you went. Okay,
nah.
Okay. We gonna talk a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna be as much, but we there's some things I do want to discuss with the movie.
So this next movie, we saw this on 2 different days.
Yeah.
But if Beale Street can talk.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to pull from this movie.
Hold on. I want to throw some in there.
I don't remember the director's name.
But it's made by the same person who made Moonlight.
So yeah, I haven't seen Moonlight personally.
Oh.
I know I'm slacking.
No, you good. You good. I'm a feeling.
So you've seen Moonlight, right?
Yeah, I've seen Moonlight.
Okay, I haven't seen Moonlight, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. So like, I really do need to. But I was aware that the director of Moonlight, directed this movie. Yeah. So I mean, while I can't accurately compare because I haven't seen Moonlight, just based off of what I've heard about Moonlight, these are 2 movies that are like neck and neck. And what is this, like his second movie? I guess.
I don't know if this is his first or second movie.
Well, as a follow up to Moonlight, this is really, really good. This is a really well done movie.
Yeah. It's pretty, man.
It's deep.
It's deep. Yeah, it's deep.
I
feel like. No, I'm gonna let you go first.
You
got it.
So the premise of Moonlight is it's I don't want to say it's simple, but it.
Moonlight?
I mean, not Moonlight. Beale Street.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rewind. The premise of if Beale Street could talk is really, really simple, I guess, in a say, because what it boils down to, it's a love story.
Yeah.
I don't remember the characters' names, but
Fonnie.
Fonnie and Trish. Okay. Tish. No, it's Tish.
Tish.
It's Tish.
It's Tish. Tish. Trish.
So
Tish.
It's about these 2.
Trish is white. Tish is black. No, if you say Trish, what, many black Trishers?
Yeah, shit, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, it's about these 2 characters, Fonnie and Tish. They were childhood friends. Obviously, they grew up together. Eventually, they ended up falling in love with one another, or I guess to be technical, they discovered that they had feelings for one another. They ended up fooling around with each other, for what, about 6 months or so, if I remember correctly. No, like 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. And finally got Tish pregnant. So the dilemma with that is he's 21, if I remember correctly. And she's
22.
22.
And then she's 19.
And she's 19. And this movie takes place in what, the 80s? That's the time.
I know he mentioned X. He mentioned he mentioned Malcolm. He mentioned King. I would say based off what I've seen, there was already some integration. It looks like between. We didn't see that many white people, but you could tell there was some level of integration.
There was definitely some integration.
So that means that the movie would have to take place either like 70s,
late 70s,
or 70s or 80s.
Because I know in the early 70s, because that's when tensions were still. So I want to say the late 70s.
But the Civil Rights Act had already been signed, because that was and then it further got touched on, or some other people got in terms of like the homosexuality, they got addressed like 1971, along with people who discrimination towards people who are homosexual or disability. That was like 71. 66 was the Civil Rights Act. Right. But
it took place on a time period where racial tensions were still high. There was integration, but there was still a lot of segregation. So they lived. Even now. So they.
Just saying.
So
y'all white people ain't off the hook.
Don't get started with that. So naturally in this time period, black people are still viewed, as a minority. They're still viewed as, lesser than dogs. Essentially, you've got, the African American community living in rundown homes, working dead-end jobs, barely making enough, to provide for themselves and their families. Cops still after, the black community for whatever reason, big or small. That's the time frame that this is set in. You have these 2 young black people, or almost you could even say children, essentially, about to raise, their firstborn child in this, really oppressive community. Now the twist to that is they actually would be, good parents with one another. They would actually make a solid family. Fonny, he's been on his own for as long as he can remember. He's been homeless. He's lived in rundown places. He's done everything that he had to do, to survive. And Tish has always had, her parents and, her sister, to back her up and, make sure that she gets the education that she deserves, make sure that she gets the life, that she deserves. So these aren't, your stereotypical, black people. They're good people. They're not ghetto. They're not uneducated. This is, I guess what you can consider, an ideal family, in the black community, despite, the difficulties and hardships. But getting back to the twist, so yeah, what ends up happening is Fonny gets arrested, on a rape charge that he didn't commit. He was in a completely another place, and there was allegedly, right? Allegedly. Well, I mean, he did get arrested on a rape charge. I didn't say he raped her. But you're right.
Yeah, it had to be alleged. Yes,
but you're right. He got arrested, on a rape charge that he didn't commit. There's a lot to dissect in this movie, man. Because
I mean, let me know if you like.
I'm gonna break it down as best as I can from my perspective.
I'm gonna jump in really quickly. Just to fill in, and then we can just go like
back and forth.
Back and forth. All right, so one of the things I want to start with first is again, like everything you said, like I obviously, like, again, you're discussing like what essentially the movie's about, right? They open up letting you know exactly just the meaning of just like the Beale Street part. Like Beale Street is actually just representation of really any like predominantly black community,
right?
Like streets,
right?
That someone that obviously someone that lives within a black community resides in, and what it is it acts as something that that has the coexistence of things that are possible for us as black people to do, and all the things that are also impossible for us to do based off circumstances and situations that may lead us down a dark path. And
right.
So that is essentially the essence of Beale Street. Not, I want to say the movie, but that is incorporated within the movie.
I'm glad they got that out the way first, because honestly, Beale Street didn't really have anything to do with the remainder of the movie. It's just, I'm not gonna say it didn't have anything. Okay. It's like you said, Beale Street is what encompasses, the hopes and dreams of the of the black community. Correct. Again,
so we're talking about us.
But I mean, outside of that, I don't even think Beale Street was mentioned throughout the rest of the movie.
It didn't need to be mentioned.
No, yeah, of course
not. Because with them introducing that within, like, before the movie start and just letting us know like the true essence, the meaning of Beale Street. So it's like, obviously the movie took place in New York, but it's like there's a Beale Street in Memphis, Beale Street in
I like how they broke that down.
Beale Street, and like these places all have a Beale Street,
which is why, like you said, it encompasses the black community.
Yeah. Which is like, I found beauty in them just saying that, and so the way that we was able to witness that was we even saw examples with the two different families. From Tish's family,
I was getting there, I was getting there because that part upset me.
Fonny's family, right?
So
like we saw that how his sisters were and how they were even down on Fonny. Where Fonny, you could tell, like, Fonny, although he didn't have that education through the system, he didn't have that.
That's why I said he was on his own, right?
Yeah, he didn't have that. Although but you could tell, like, his sisters have some level of that, but even with that, it led them to be as kind of stuck up in what they would call bougie, bougie. His sisters and stuff like that are bougie, and they're like that based off of them, and like the mother and how she is, and how she, and you could tell the way they was talking to just other black people.
Yeah,
they called them dusty Negroes,
so
dusty niggas.
So yeah, like I said, Tish's family, like they took care of her. They made sure that she never went without.
Matata type stuff.
Again, Fonny, the only person that really gave a damn about him, was his dad. But I mean, what did his dad really contribute? Not much, and that's not a fault on him as much as it's a fault on his mother and his sisters. And the reason why I say that is exactly to your point. How they talk to other black people that they're not related to. Imagine how they talk to Fonny. How they treated Fonny. They treated him like shit.
Probably they would have to. And on top of that, when you think about the climate and the time period, right? This could get really deep. Like, think about the climate and time period, especially with other, like us as people, we are black, right. And so, in some people, this same type of behavior still exists in black people's family, where it's like, loving you is me putting food on the table and supporting you. I don't have time. It's like I don't know if you saw the movie Fences, right?
I didn't see it, but I'm aware of that scene.
The scene, yeah. It's like, it's like me telling you I love you. Me telling you, boy, I'm so busy working and putting food on the table, worried about these people coming after my neck, worried about like these people potentially arresting me for me just being black, walking out. I'm worried about that. So I ain't got time for me.
And that was pretty much the tone of this movie. Like, if the color of my skin is anything but white, I'm in trouble. I gotta always look over my shoulder. Okay, I always gotta, I always have a target on my back.
Let's dive into, I think. Okay. Let's talk about the tones of this movie.
Okay.
All right. Let me talk about this. Let's talk about this really quickly, because I'm still getting goosebumps right now thinking about like the tones of the movie. Like, it set the tone from just like the music that was being played.
Man,
they wasn't talking. They were just looking at each other.
The opening and just the opening, like the musical score from the opening, and just like you said, how they just looked at each other. And it wasn't even just in the opening, just throughout the movie. Like, Fonny would look at this girl, and you can tell, like,
that was something beyond love.
He's infatuated with her.
That was something beyond love.
And at first, she didn't pick up on it, but when she did pick up on it, and she slowly starts to reciprocate that, and you watched that love grow between the two of them, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
like, seriously.
But I don't want to bring it up yet. But the tone, right? That was right. The scene. I think this is probably, and you can argue with me on this. I think this is probably like the best scene in the movie. When Fonny is at like the dinner table, when he invites his friend and they're drinking beers, and then again, this is what's his name, Brian
Tyree Henry.
He's the actual thespian.
He's got a lot of range.
He's an actual thespian.
I didn't know that, but like, he's got a lot of range.
Go to his interview. That's why he has a lot of range, because he's an actual thespian. He actually studies the art and work. He's been in Broadway productions and plays and stuff like that. True thespians, they're gonna have that range. So when you think about people like Viola Davis, people who can like transition from movie, show, like the people. Those are the thespians.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right? That's who he is.
Right.
That's why he's as good as he is. Whew. But that scene, oh my goodness. And he starts painting that. You saw that like, it started getting, I think it got a little bit darker. The score, the music changed. He started painting the image of just being in prison.
Not even just that, but his experience.
His experience.
Like, I felt like I could see him in the situations he was telling.
He was painting it so well, and the score just changed. He was like, he said, these people, no, they're not even people. The way they just treat you, man. The way he was just saying it, like, you could tell, literally.
I agree with you 100%. That was the best scene in the movie.
That was so, then Bonnie was just literally, because like Bonnie was like, he was just like listening to him. Like, you could tell, like, even before, here's the thing, like, let me set this up. Before hearing what he said, you already have this preconceived notion that that's not a place I want to go to.
Right.
You know that, right?
Of course.
But hearing that, you like, hell to the no. I don't want to go there. That's not a place where I belong. Me hearing you say that, and reason why that's as powerful as this is because you have someone like Fonny, and he's actually. I love the moments when you see his raw emotion come out and he's speaking up, because you get to hear him. He's like, "Yo, I really don't know. I don't know what my direction is in life, but I know with you by my side, support me. I'm gonna do what I need to do. Like there's like certain scenes that happen. I'm trying not to jump too much in the movie because it's his character. He was just like tuned into him. He's like, yo, I'm hearing what you're saying. I don't need to be there. I got this woman with the strong woman.
So
I don't want to leave her side at all.
To tack on to that, what also makes that scene a lot better is we already know he's going to jail.
Exactly.
So he's
That's
sitting
what
there,
it made it.
he's sitting there telling his story and letting him know like you don't ever want to go there. We're already sitting there knowing like he's about to end up. He's literally
that hell that he's speaking about.
Literally that day he's about to end up in jail.
Yeah.
So for us to sit there and know that, like that takes it to a whole nother level because it's like you said, I don't know my direction in life. But I know that I love this girl and I want this girl and I want to be with her no matter what. So to be able to already know that he's at risk of losing everything, all of that, and on top of the fact that, he's about to have a baby, that took on a whole new meaning.
Yeah. And I appreciate it because like what am I looking for? What am I looking for? It spoke to me. Because like you said, like, we know he's about to go to jail, right? We know. And it spoke to me because we didn't see any scenes of what happened within the inside. And I'm glad they didn't.
I like that.
They left it up to our imagination.
Did you see where he came out and he had the lip in the eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting there wondering, I was just like, what the hell happened? Yeah. Like, I thought you were good. Yeah. Who like
but that's the thing. I'm the man, right? I'm going to always tell my girl I'm good. But he said, I don't need you to protect me. That's not your job. My job is to protect you. Your job is not. That's why he got so. But that goes to show the climate then. Some people even feel the same now. Kind of like that whole, the guy is the ruler, the protector, and the woman. Cool. I'm not knocking you for that. But we talking about the climate then. And it was I want to use the word acceptable, but that was then.
No, I mean that is the word to use. That was what was acceptable.
Okay, that's acceptable. Okay, cool. Let's use that. Let's work with that. That was acceptable then. And he threw that sack against the wall. Like, oh man, he got really passionate about it. Like, you don't need to step in front of me. Like, that's my job. Like, I don't need you to protect me. Because if anything was to happen to her,
he would lose it. Easily.
Exactly. And I just love again, going back to the imagery, they really painted the hell of being in there. Especially as a black man, he painted it being as hell. But the same way, even within this book, The Great Divorce, right, by C.S. Lewis, like, you know how people talk about heaven on earth?
Right.
Hell on earth. The hell that's on earth. The coexisting of two things. I talk about this with other people. If there's something that exists, there has to be a coexisting thing.
Yes.
Positive, negative, heaven, hell. If you believe in heaven, then there's a hell.
Right.
If you believe that there's a heaven on earth, there's a hell on earth too.
It's like light and darkness. You can't have one without the other.
Exactly. So
there is no neutral.
So one of the things I'm thinking in my head is like, yo, he's speaking about the hell that's in this prison. Hell we just go call it hell. But what about just everyday life? I'm not saying that they was experiencing hell. Obviously, when you have your angel by your side,
everything is heaven.
Everything is heaven.
Yeah. So like no matter
you can tell,
no matter where he was, whether it was in the basement or whether it was looking for a place or whether he was on a park bench or sleeping at her house, it didn't matter as long as he was.
What do you say to her? Where you want to go? Where do you want to go? The night is ours. We can go to a movie. We can sit on this bench.
See, I like that part because nowadays you can ask a woman that because she ain't gonna be able to make up her damn mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he
eventually kind of helped her along.
I ain't knocking the women or not, but
yeah, I know what you mean. Hey,
but hey,
what do you want?
Hey, seriously though,
what do you want?
What do you want to eat? I don't know. I want this. Okay, let's go get this. No, I don't want this. What you mean? You just said you wanted this. Well, I changed my mind. Well, damn, how many times you gonna change your mind?
I talk about it a little bit in like one of my poems. The book, the book that you. Hey, go cop that. Her Energy, by the way. free promotion. Right? We can do that.
We can do that.
No, but I was talking about like indecisiveness awakens inner child, and it's a powerful line because like it actually equates to something I experienced because, again, when I say indecisiveness awakens inner child, because it's really childlike thinking.
Right.
Not calling a person a child, but when you have like this indecisiveness, that's uncertainty. Uncertainty derives from what? It derives from a lot of different things that stems from the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind really make up who you are and controls who you are and certain behaviors that you do on a daily basis. And all that goes back to who we are as people. And who we are as people goes to our paradigms. Our paradigm is made of habits. Those habits form over the course of our life.
Right.
Which goes back to our childhood. Things become learned behaviors. So indecisiveness awakens the inner child It is what it is. There's more context to that line. Cop the book. But anyways, man, back to this movie, man. I want to touch on more of some of the stuff that happened in the movie. But one of the things I want to add is that when I was texting you, like, the movie's powerful. It's very impactful. It's made by the same person who did Moonlight. Did I personally like Moonlight more than the movie? Again, I watched Moonlight a couple of times, so I'm giving it the edge. But in terms of feelings, like, you're going to feel if Beale Street could talk more. Oh, the score! It's stuck in my head. The score.
So, as someone that hasn't seen Moonlight, but I've done enough research on it.
Yeah.
I think I can say without seeing the movie that I would like Moonlight more, but Beale Street will make me feel better. Watching Beale Street, made me feel like I was in love. And I mean, like, bro, that's just the honest to God truth. Like,
wait, are you single right now?
Of course.
Yo, here's the thing, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. If I was single watching this movie, bro, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be in the theater boohoo crying or something.
But so here's why it impacted me more, because I am single. I can watch this movie, and I can just think about, man, like, the next girl, that I get with, the next girl that I end up with, or whatever. Like, this movie makes me want to love her, just like Fonnie loves Tish. So I mean, like, that's the main thing that I took away from this movie was, like he said, I don't have any purpose unless I'm with you. You are my purpose. Now, I know some people would say, you can't make me your end all be all. Yeah. But I mean, like, as an individual, that's how I would feel.
Look, I'll say Neo said it best himself. We quote my man Neo. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we together.
Okay, exactly. But
like you said, I'm good.
Real words.
What did you say earlier when you mentioned about Fonnie's character? Like, you could tell he's accustomed to moving on his own.
Yeah.
You can tell. You could tell even from the I love it when he was speaking, was it Spanish? You could tell. He didn't learn that from his household.
Nah, he figured it out himself.
Yeah, exactly. You could tell they're sculpting. But no, Tish even set that up. Talking about in terms of him taking employment, working somewhere, he'll work enough, eventually leave. He took what he needed from it.
He did what he had to do.
Did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Get by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right. But one of the things I want to touch back on, like I mentioned, like when the moments his emotions is leaking out, you can tell that that's coming. I don't want to say it's solely coming from prison, because we saw examples of it. when
prior to him being in prison.
We saw, prior to right. Yeah, we saw, right. So we saw examples of it, right? And I feel like the reason why I enjoyed it because I feel like in any given situation, the way that cop, like the way that cop, he was like looking at him. He was like, the cop was like, I'm gonna see you around. He was like, yeah, maybe you will.
And so like,
you could tell he wanted to do something.
So
did you get that feeling? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you.
No, because that's an excellent point. So the one thing that I kind of wish I had more explanation on was the interaction between him and that cop.
You want more?
So and this is why, because during the scene where that guy was fondling Tish or whatever, and Fonny got mad, he stepped up. Fonny did kind of go overboard, sort of, kind of, not really, but whatever. That cop came up, saw that Fonny was black, didn't really give him the benefit of the doubt, tried to take him down. The owner of the store defended him, and of course, like you said, they had that interaction.
Love that. Love the fact that the owner stepped up.
Right.
By the way,
you said like you said, the cop was like, "I'll see you around," and Fonny was like, "Maybe, maybe not." Where I wish I would have had more context is, me personally, I would have liked if in the background, maybe you saw that cop, because they mentioned, or not, well, yeah, they mentioned that was the same as that cop, that busted him, for allegedly raping, that woman. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself,
they ran into each other again.
Well,
they would have to for him. No. Sorry. No, she picked them out in the lineup.
So this is what happened, because they even said it. They were, Fonny, Tish, and his friend were all in the house, hanging out. Mm-hmm. They waited for him to come out. They didn't come to him. I remember specifically Tish saying,
true.
They waited
That's
for him.
True.
They
Good
waited
memory.
for him to come
memory.
out.
Good memory.
So I would have liked, even though like I already understood, Fonny and this individual already had, this vendetta with one another. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see, obviously this cop doesn't like Fonny. I would have liked to see him lurking around, maybe in the background, when Fonny and Tish on the streets, just to, show, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't think we need it. I'm gonna tell you why. This is just my perspective.
Okay.
Reason why, because with this movie being, I don't want to say so close to home. I'm not trying to like, oh yeah, we black, so it's close to. I'm not trying to pull that card, but we can. We can pull that card.
I mean, I think it's fair that we can.
It's
not as bad.
The climate, we know the climate. Then
yeah, it was messed up.
So that's why I feel like, would we really need that if we already knew the temperature? You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
if we already knew what's up. You see me, we know what's up. I already know how you feel about me. Look at my pigmentation. I know how you feel. I know what's up.
My thing about that, where I believe that you're right. My thing about that was like it was that specific cop that arrested him, and
true. The same one.
Yeah, the same exact cop. That was my whole reason for I would have liked to see him in at least another scene or so.
Do you think, with what you're saying, do you think with not being here, because we seen him in what, like maybe 2 or 3 scenes?
No, we only see the cop in 1 scene.
No, we
see him in 2 technically.
2.
So we see him with
speaking wise, one.
So we see him initially with the interaction with Fonny, and we see another like quick 5-second
they
frontal shot.
Just show us like
and they show like
this
a
is
picture.
The cop that busted him.
Right.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I can agree to disagree with that, because I think there is some level of benefit to it. But I think you answered the question right. Do you think it took away from the movie?
Oh no. It's just a personal preference. It's just a personal preference for me. Just because like I don't think it took away. I honestly don't think it would add. It would just make a little bit more sense, because if the woman is on this side and Fonny is on this side, what are the odds of this cop being, you know, right there in front of Fonny's place. Like,
he was probably literally like following.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I would have preferred, you know, there, you know, was at least something,
like Liv's like, okay, something, you stay right there,
right? Something alluding to like kinda, I was following, because this, correct me if I'm wrong, but they waited for him to come out. That means they arrested him, then they took him to the lineup. Yeah. So
for her to pick
exactly.
Hold on, we about to get into that. We're actually about to get into that.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, all right, let's go ahead. Look, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna go ahead. Do you think he actually did it?
Nah, absolutely, hell no. No.
Even with the scene when Tisha's mother went to Puerto Rico, had the picture, and she literally said, "Lady, I don't think you ever been raped before in your life." Like she didn't lose it yet. Like she saw the picture, and you see like there's like this pause when she's like looking at the picture. Now the pause can mean multiple things.
Right.
The pause can mean like, damn, like I don't think that's him, or the pause is like, bruh, it's him. Right? And then so like she's like, and then her response was, it wasn't like a yes or no, it was like, lady, which obviously would mean she's like, lady, I don't think you ever been raped before in your life. And then she's like,
but her response was maybe not, or I'm paraphrasing, but her response is maybe not, but I know how a woman thinks.
Yeah, she actually did say something like that. She actually said, yo, listen, I understand, like I'm a woman too.
Yeah, some women
like, and she just wanted to know, like, yo, if he didn't do it, why pick him out the lineup out of all people?
So two things to that.
Right.
Number one, which is, in my opinion, the least likely, she just picked him out of just randomness. Number two, that cop planted the idea in her head. It was him. Those in my opinion are the only reasons.
I'm gonna rule that second one out.
Why's that?
Reason why? Because like at that point, especially with her already there, the mother there, she had no reason for her to like to even say like to even the I forgot her name, the Hispanic chick. She had no reason for her to continue like picking him like out of all people. Even with the plant, even if it was a planted thing, she had no reason for it to be like, yeah, it was him.
Okay,
because if you think about what
then.
she said, you think about what she said, because she even said just like, yo, like, because the mother's like, did you even see his face?
She said it was dark.
She said it was dark, but she said it was dark. I saw enough. She used the word, I saw enough, and I'm like, obviously that's kind of like a BS answer, because obviously if it's dark, you're picking a black person in a dark setting. Which at the end of the day, it's like that could be
anybody.
Anyone.
Yeah.
And so
that leaves, well, I guess, number 3, it was just fate. Because a lot of the movie was about fate.
Yeah.
So I mean,
what was exactly his fate, to go to jail?
Possibly. We don't know.
It could make sense. It can make sense. Now, I like it that they touched on that because they touched on this after that scene. I don't know if it was directly after, but they touched on that like around that time period. You know, you did have a lot of black people who were being wrongfully convicted of a lot of different things,
and that was a perfect time to touch on that too.
And I'm glad they did, which led me to believe that maybe he really didn't do it, because it's like they led them to imprisonment. And they have to take a plea deal, because it's like, we gonna be here, we gonna be stuck here. We ain't even got money to pay for a lawyer, so we gotta take a plea deal.
So getting into that, that is why the ending of the movie made me mad.
It made you mad
because
okay.
And this is why it made me mad.
Okay,
2 reasons.
All right.
One, literally because of what you just said.
Okay.
It was social injustice. I mean. I shouldn't be mad because it happens all the time, and it's kind of ridiculous that I get more upset at this movie than I do at the social injustices that I see in real life.
It made you, but the movie set it up to where it made you care.
Exactly, and that's my next point of why I didn't like the end of this movie, because even though realistically I should have watched this movie and said, oh, okay, so it's gonna end, it's not gonna have a happy ending. I cared so much that I wanted the happy ending.
Technically, it was a happy ending.
I mean, it was a happy ending per se.
It just wasn't a happy ending that us as black people wanted.
So I wanted him, to get clear. I wanted him to be free. I wanted him, to be, with his family. But he didn't get that.
Yeah.
He had to take a plea deal, which I looked it up. I believe it was like 10 years. And I don't know, the stipulations for it back then, but that's 10 years of your life gone over something you didn't do.
Man, that kid's was about I'll say 7?
Nah.
5?
He had to be between 4 and 6. He had to be.
All right.
And 6 is honestly a stretch in my opinion, just because of how
5. Let's give him 5.
Yeah.
Let's give him 5. So he's 5. So let's say it's 5. So if we're going off what you're saying, so he would have had 5 more. But man, the way his kid was like drawn, and then like he's like, since I told him, like basically ever since I told him like when you will be like being released.
I mean, he was old enough to know. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's all he's been writing. And then on top of that,
even that hit me home pretty hard. I'm just like, you told your young son that his father's in jail. I mean, like, I don't see anything wrong
ride or
with
die. You are, what do you say? You are in me, and I am in you.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. But you told your young son this, and he responded by drawing these pictures of his father being a free man. That's deep.
Yeah,
I can only imagine
the year he's gonna be released.
Yeah, I can only imagine how he feels watching his son draw that.
I think he knows that it's like that gives him not serenity, but it gives
peace
him
of mind, probably
peace of mind.
And hope.
He's like, yo, when I go, although I may be going back to this hell of a place, like I know that eventually I got a home to come to. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, so yeah, you can look at it. You can definitely look at it like that. But like I said, I didn't like it because essentially he lost. Like, he's got to walk around the rest of his life, with this false charge on his record. Yeah. People are going to look at him completely different. It doesn't matter, if he did it. It doesn't matter if he didn't do it. It doesn't matter if, the people that are criticizing him
define loss, though. In this situation, define loss. What exactly did he lose? I mean, because
he lost his freedom for one.
Put yourself in his position, right? Because he could be looking at it like, yo, I got this woman.
I got my son.
I got my son.
And I got something to look forward to. I say he lost in the sense of, he lost his freedom. Okay. He lost his case. He lost, respect, with probably not, well, the white community didn't give a damn anyways, but it's the potential that he lost respect, with some of the black community, with some of the Hispanic community, with other minority groups, because, rape is not something, that's taken seriously at all in any community. So it doesn't matter.
But the thing is,
so even with the social injustice in this time period, even though that the black community knows that the white community is against them, allegations of rape, that's a serious charge.
Because the thing is, like, the lady did get raped.
Yes, she was raped.
So we do know that. Because at first when in the beginning, like towards the beginning when they're setting it up, we don't know if she got raped. You know how like someone can we don't know if she got raped. She could be making it up. And I think that's the beauty of, I don't want to say beauty, but that's the some clarity that we got towards the end of the movie. Is like you see her reaction when she's like freaking out.
Yeah, she wasn't faking that.
Yeah. Like she's literally having like some type of panic attack. She's like, yo, like don't touch me. Like she literally like freaked out. Now, when Tish was speaking with Fonnie, I feel like she left out. This like kind of led me to believe that Fonnie kind of did it a little bit, because I feel like when she was speaking with Fonnie and she was like saying like her mother just came back from Puerto Rico, like the way she was explaining about the situation, what happened, she didn't say like, oh, my mom showed a picture of you and she started freaking out. Nah, she was just like, yeah, mom went down to Puerto Rico and then she just said she just started acting crazy. That's all she said.
And you talking about how his reaction was really positive and he's like, I'm gonna get out of here and all that.
I mean, that could be talked about as well. But I was just talking about just how Tish like kind of like relayed to him, like, you know.
So
I feel like
why do you think why are you in the camp of he did it, or he may have done it? Because it's not adding up. If it happened,
I know he didn't do it.
If it happened at point A, you know, you got point B in the middle, and then they're at point C, and it happened that same day that she's at point A, or that same night.
I guarantee you, if we were to look up online, like a Google search, did Fonnie do it?
Bro, I'm gonna do it right now.
Please do it. Look it up for me.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Look it up for me, right? And so while you're doing that, I want to touch on. You touched on a little bit the musical score, like the whatever instrument. Was it a violin? Was it a violin? It was some instrument.
It was a piano.
It was a piano. No, it was. It sounded like a string instrument. No.
I swear some of it was a piano.
It probably was, but something else was involved with it as well. It's a string instrument.
No, I'm wrong. It's a string instrument. Yeah, I have to think about it for a second. Yeah. It's a string instrument.
And I'm talking about like whatever frequency it was hitting at, whatever it was, it hit me like a brick wall. I'm talking about like you're I'm so enthralled in the movie from the jump. You just see them walking, right? And then basically that's him just like letting her know like, yo, I'm about to go to jail. Like I'm like, yeah, this is our like.
It's not pulling up anything.
It's not pulling up anything.
Nah.
Like people not speculating.
Nah.
I refuse to. Okay.
I mean, like you can look it up if you want to.
Nah, I'm looking it up later. I'm looking it up later.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Since we're in the middle of like.
No, you good.
Yeah. I'm looking it up later. But
you know me, like my thing with movies, especially movies of this caliber, is the musical score. Like if you have a good musical score, like you gonna get some bonus points off rip. Yeah. Especially if it's a piano or if it's a string instrument, you're getting bonus points.
That's what both Moonlight and this had, and on top of that, you could tell some of the shot choices, like some of the close ups on the faces and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, Moonlight. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was pretty dope, stylistically and shot choice. Some of the stuff. It is ultimately two different movies. Obviously, it's dealing with things of something predominantly black,
right?
Obviously, main black protagonists, so to speak. And I highly appreciate with this movie, what they displayed and how powerful and impactful it is. And I'm glad they did have the setup of explaining the meaning of Beale Street before diving into the movie, because it does actually help understanding the movie some. Because as we said to each other, at least so I said to you, I felt like I was left in the dark about some of the stuff about the movie. Like I felt the movie was powerful, but for some reason, I feel like I was left in the dark. But
it's like you said to me, like you wanted more.
Yeah, but most movies that are as good as they are, they're like that. Take for instance 2018 First Reformed. I don't know if you saw that movie with Ethan Hawke. He actually won an award. The movie has a lot of praise. A24 film, and it's like, of course, right? Best movies, right? I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm saying that literally the best movies.
Now,
yeah.
Back then they wasn't.
They had some ones that simmered.
They had some hits.
Spring Breakers was actually one that's like.
That's actually a decent movie.
It's a decent movie.
Yeah.
Yo, me and my girl, we make fun. Spring break forever. Spring break. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let me just mention one scene. Can we just bring up the fact that the two chicks at the end of the movie who never shot a gun a day in their life got off the boat? James Franco instantly died. Boom, he gets clapped. Two half-naked chicks with a ski mask on, half naked, didn't get hit by a single bullet. They walking through, pop, 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 shooting up everyone.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
I said, yo, no bullet hit them at all?
Of course not.
They never shot a gun in their life, and yet they managed to hit every target.
Did anybody in that movie out of the four die?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen the movie.
No, I think one of them got hit. One of them got hit with a bullet.
But she didn't die.
The one that got hit ended up going back. So the first person that left was Selena Gomez. She couldn't hang with him. She was a good old Christian gal. I know, right? She couldn't hang, right? And then the other one that left was the one I think that one that got like grazed by a bullet, or she ended up leaving. And so they left two there, and like two of them there. They was just like, yo, like they just was like, yep, this is it. We staying here. Like, yep, this is it. And they came up with the plan, like, yep, we gonna go to this dude's remote island, not island, but like his mansion over there that you gotta like take a boat to get there, and we gonna clap up the joint. And it's okay. This dude has full on security, big dudes, big guns. All of them died. I
mean, if I saw two girls in bikinis walking towards me with AR-15s. AR-15s, like
no. They had like handguns and like they didn't have like.
I mean, regardless, if I saw two women in bikinis walking up to me, I don't give a damn if you got a ski mask on and a gun in your hand. I'm gonna stop and stare straight up.
So soon as she get the dumping bullet, she
no. After because I'm black, after the first shot, I'm going on the ground. No, real shit. I'm dropping.
Going on the ground playing dead, or going on the ground clapping back.
Whichever instinct kicks in first. Whichever. Because like
my mind is this. I'm like, okay, half naked, cool, right? I already don't be looking like that anyways. Like, I'm not saying that because I'm in a relationship. I'm saying that just off rips. Like, cool, if you half naked, you half naked. It is what it is.
I mean, like, that's right. as a man, like, we're guaranteed.
It's gonna garnish our attention. Or it's gonna
of course.
Sorry, matter of fact, no. Let me not be I don't want to be that guy. I don't care who you are, man or female.
I'm gonna be that guy because I'm looking.
Well, I'm saying that because like even a female's gonna look too, but they're just gonna look because they're gonna be like, wait, why are you half naked? That's why I'm saying that. I'm saying it because of that. So they're gonna look. They're like, okay, half naked ski mask. What the hell? You got a gun? Oh, pop, 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 pop. Get the dumping. If I got a weapon on me, as soon as I saw my homie get clapped, I'm clapping back. And I already know my aim lethal. So I ain't about to let look, imagine if you get hit, like what happened? Oh man, these two half naked chicks with ski masks came through the.
Now I didn't say like if I'm on the front row, like I'm just gonna stop and stare. If I'm on the front row and I see that coming, I'm gonna look. But the moment that arm starts to raise up, I'm gone. That's
the moment I see the weapon.
That's when I'm hitting the ground, or that's when I'm clapping.
Yeah,
one of them two.
The moment I see the weapon, I'm out.
Hey, this is one of those what if scenarios. We can say that now, but in the moment, I don't know.
All right. I ain't gonna bring up nothing. Look, listen, man. If I just see the weapon, weapon, door, window, something, I gotta do something. Like I ain't gonna be frozen. I'll say that.
Hit him with that Nathan Drake. You better run while you shoot behind you.
Heck no.
And hope you don't get hit.
Just start dumping.
I mean,
but now back to Beale Street. But it's funny. The more I'm talking, I know I said this already, and it's on the podcast. I know I said this already, but I'm retracting it again.
Okay.
I said I was initially saying, I think you agreed with me, how like the upside has like more replay value.
Yeah.
But the more we're talking about it and discussing it and going into detail about Beale Street, I actually watched Beale Street before I watched the upside.
So I agree with you on this. I'm not going to retract what I said about watching the upside, more. The upside is a movie that I can watch repeatedly, sure. I'll watch Beale Street again only so I can make sure, that I picked up on, themes and, tones that I missed during, the initial viewing. It's the same thing with Hereditary.
Hey. What you about to say about Hereditary? Hold on.
I want to watch that movie again so I can pick up on the things that I missed, the first go around.
Cause you know how many times I've seen that movie, right?
How many?
Like 4 times.
Did you pick up on everything?
Yes.
I'm still trying. I still remember what you told me. I don't. Should I? Can I spoil it? I mean, this shit has been out for what?
Okay. Okay. Before you spoil it, right? There's a list I actually made. I think you kind of did. You make a? And there's lists that people made. Not Chris Stuckerman, YouTube review.
Yeah,
he actually has Hereditary as his #1 movie. Yeah.
Really?
And but what that tells me, it goes to show that it let me know that it's okay for me to have a movie in my top 10 or have a movie as my #1 that's outside of the socially accepted from the critics is #1.
Right.
That let me know. Not that I was basing my top 10 off other people's top 10, but it just let me know, like, yo, this is your list. What is your number?
It's completely and totally opinionated. Your list don't have to be the same as mine.
Like, and at first I wanted it to be like Black Klansman. I wanted it to be.
What's your #1?
I want it to be. It's like my highest rated movie though. Like highest rated wise, it is. It's like I gave it a 10, but other stuff got a 10 too. Like for instance, like won't you be my neighbor? The documentary.
I need to buy that because I never got to see it in theater.
Let me tell you,
I'm upset about that.
It's a tearjerker.
I need a good cry.
It's like it's impactful, it's powerful, right? But when you get to Hereditary, now that's my most watched movie of 2018, and I'm biased towards horror, good horror, like good horror. I don't care if someone want to say like it's cliche, it's this, it's that. Like
I mean, because you remember I said it was cliche.
But again, every time I watch the movie, I've watched horror movies. There is something that movie provides that is completely different than just that other. Like if you want to look back at other like I'm talking about older horror movies, from The Exorcist to like The Omen to like all these older ones that from Poltergeist, like the old one that people like take like obviously there's older horror movies than that, but people take like the they learn from it. They take like a piece of it from it, and they use that to create something of it. But that's good. But obviously you will want something that's original. Hereditary still gave me an original feel. It still gave me,
especially in today's climate where, like you said, everything is recycled and there's nothing that's, especially in the horror genre, it's rare when you find something that's original. And Hereditary, while it was cliche only because it was plucking, from other movies, it was still original enough to where like it kept me guessing, like except until the end. The end I knew where it was going, but from the beginning to the last 20 minutes.
Every single bit of the ending. I'm not talking about like this. You knew that the mother was gonna cut her own head.
No. I'm not. So as far as the ending goes,
okay.
I knew that they were not gonna succeed in their plan to save him from the demon payment. No. And because how everything was starting to play out, everything was planned out way too perfectly. Okay,
let's break something down right now.
All right.
I hear what you're saying. I'm fine with what you're saying. But I will want to use a different terminology for, like, when I hear, I know what's going to happen. When I hear I know, that means like, the next scene, this is going.
So, okay, I see what you're saying. No, I didn't know that, the mother was going to die. No, I didn't know.
Or
that,
how.
Or how.
Or why.
Or why.
Okay.
So definitely I didn't know, how certain scenes were going to play out.
Okay.
But I already knew how the movie was going to end. Just like with Dragon Ball Super, Broly, how we just
we go get into we go talk about that a little bit.
How we just saw that movie. Yeah. Did you not hear me in the theater when I said, I know exactly what's going to happen, how this movie's going to end?
Yeah.
I didn't have to know the next scene.
You can tell even with, I just want to say one thing with that one, and then we'll talk about that in a second. You could tell with what Goku said initially. He was like even with the initial, it's like, there's other sayings. It's like, hey, what's good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's somebody else. It's another saying. It's another one of us. I don't want to kill another one of us. I don't want to have to do that.
Oh no. I wasn't even looking at it from that aspect. But I'm not gonna go into it right now.
Okay.
But there was a certain point in the movie where something happened where that's when I said, "Oh, I know exactly what's gonna happen."
Okay.
And I already knew exactly, how it was gonna end. Now, granted,
again, when I hear you say that, man, it's still
right, because like certain things in movies, like I can pick up on where I might not know the exact thing that's gonna happen.
Say predictable.
Okay, so
I like that word better.
It became predictable to me.
Okay,
and everything that I was predicting was happening. It's the same thing with Hereditary.
Okay.
Everything that I predicted started happening. No, I didn't know that all these people were gonna die, but I knew I predicted
or collide. Yeah.
Once things started coming together for me, I was easily able to predict they're screwed. They lost. Like, this nigga's now possessed. It was just one of those things that I was able to look at and understand.